How are we getting on, folks? Look at very, very good day today. Realistically, I'm on a roll, and I'm going to live every moment I can, basically, in it. Obviously, look at the fact. Look at the treble didn't really work our way. The first few races didn't really go our way. Obviously, look at the winner there. Look at 1 to 2. Can't really scream and shout about that. 230 though, Sir Bob 16 to 1 tipped up the night before. That was as easy a winner as you can possibly get at that sort of a price. Marshall very unlucky. Big Dog very unlucky. 410 though, the patron pick of the day was 11 to 1 the night before. Got hammered into 9 to 2, say the morning. Drifted out again to 8 to 1, and it ran a very, very good second. So realistically, like, it was a very, very good day altogether. Moving on to Fairyhouse now tomorrow. Now, I'm a bit up in the air about this. I don't think Fairyhouse is personally going to go ahead with the way things are going. 24 mils of rain shouldn't really go on. If it does, it's going to be a pure slog. I'm just really going to fly through them overall. I'm not really going to spend too much time. I'm going to instead turn my attention to the ITV racing as well. So hopefully, look at it. If the two go ahead, it's a win-win situation. It can't go wrong. 12:20 though, the first race off. I backed Brayside at 7 to 4, backed into odds on there now 10 to 11. It's still a fairly nice price considering. I'm going to keep the guns and say this is still worth backing. It's the only one in here that has any sort of form, tying up with the likes of Envoyelen. Obviously, look at it, was 2.5 lengths behind Field Uderi, who put it up to Envoyelen the last day in Punchestown. So I think that Field Uderi is a very, very nice horse. I think that horse is going to be very, very prominent in the Irish racing scene now, from now until whenever it retires. I think it's a top class horse, and I think Brayside is a rightful favourite. I think, well, I thought 7 to 4 was a bit of a giveaway, but I think it's safe to say it's well and truly snapped up now. But look, it's still some sort of value there at 10 to 11. I know. Look at those that'll be backing odds on wouldn't think too much of it, like, but I know it's still fairly short. So I'd be hoping for a win anyway. 12:50 then, we're going to be going with Robert Tyner's spare breaks here. Obviously, the fact that we're tying up with Tyner's win there today with Sir Bob, it's definitely got plenty of ability. Like, spare breaks is a pure mud log altogether. Loves deep, heavy ground, loves a good slog. I think he's going to get that tomorrow if racing goes ahead. Second last time out to a fairly decent sort. I think overall, Philip Enright knows the horse and knows how to produce it for a winning perspective. And I think 6 to 1 is definitely well worth an each way shout. I think he's definitely going to be in around the places. He's one of the more likelier winners, but look, in Fairyhouse and heavy ground, you'd never know really at the end of the day. 123 then is going to be another each way fancy with I'll Be That Lady for Brian McMahon, and I think it's Philip Enright as well. I'm not 100% sure. I think it is. Currently priced in around 7 to 1. Realistically, I'm going off the Nay second. The way it stayed on, the way it ran for that particular race, it's going to be well suited to conditions now tomorrow. It didn't really get the run of a race in Navan last time out when it clattered the fence too from home. It really just got winded. That's all that really was wrong with it. It was coming there with a wet sail, and it just hit the second last, and it couldn't pick up. So I'd be personally writing that off. I think that's just one of those things that happens now and again. Generally, this horse is a sound enough jumper, and generally, I suppose, what's the word I'm looking for? It's solid. It's solid as an each way perspective, and it should be thereabouts in the finish, all going provided. 158 then is going to be my next best of the day. Royal Kahala in and around 7 to 4. I think this is a steal. I think Gulos for Willie Mullins. It's coming up against it here today. Look at it. Obviously, worthy favourite, undefeated, but I just think that Royal Kahala just has that little bit more experience and a little bit more class. I just think that Gulos is a little bit free going and a little bit, how would you say, a little bit fresh in himself. And overall, if he does that tomorrow, it's going to tire him out basically in that sort of ground. This Peter Fahey horse ridden by Kevin Sexton. It's going to be produced late. It should be well capable of putting the race to bed, and it should be, well, it's definitely well worth considering at a price of 7-4. 233. Look at another odds on horse here now. It's at a backable price though. It's MC Muldoon at 10-11. It's hard to really know what to make of this horse. It was a mediocre, if not slightly encouraging performance last time out. Now coming into this company now, it's interesting the fact that Patrick Mullins takes the ride. Now for these amateur riders, they can only ride 28 or 25 times, I think, in the year. So they have to plan it out accordingly. Like, they want to get as many winners on the board as they possibly can. And the fact that Patrick Mullins has decided to ride MC Muldoon, it's a bit of a tip in itself, in my personal opinion. I think, look at the fact that Willie's horses haven't necessarily performed over the past couple of days, especially. It's a little bit worrying, and it's probably a reason why the horse is on the drift. But if it drifts anymore, it's gone out to even money, and that's certainly a backable price. The fact that Patrick Mullins is on board, it's surely a tip in itself. And overall, I think it's a great chance overall with I suppose improvement pending, and hopefully it gets around okay. Hopefully it should be able to notch a couple of these winners in. 308, I'm not going to be having a bet in this race. Micromanage should hose up, and rightly so, at a price of 4-11. I honestly can't see a horse that's even going to come close to Micromanage tomorrow. Realistically, it should be winning 10 to 15 lengths. I wouldn't put it past it, and I'd probably be expecting it to win at that sort of distance as well. It's not necessarily the greatest of field. We were just actually talking to James Fenton there today, who is in charge of Blue Bloods Racing Club, as well as Closutton and Lions Mount for Willie Mullins. But they had a mare called Zola, and Zola's half sister runs in this for, I think it's Henry de Bramhead. It's a bit of a gamble going on, so look, at that could be a bit of a springer. I don't really know. Zola was obviously a very, very impressive performer, but I just don't know. I can't see her being able to beat Micromanage first time out. Next race then, 343. Max Charm is going to be my nap of the day for the YouTube picks. I honestly can't see how this horse is going to be beaten. Put in some very, very good performances last 2 or 3 times now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, one was in Fairyhouse as well. So it should be well capable of putting up a very, very strong performance. It's a weak enough affair, this one. I honestly think that, if I'm not mistaken, actually, it's well clear on the ratings as well. I think it's something like £20 clear. So realistically, the fact that it's only up maybe half a stone or a stone ahead of some of these horses, like, it's still technically well in, and still at least technically 12, or not £12, £6 well in some cases. But I can honestly see this horse, if the racing goes ahead tomorrow, see Max Charm absolutely hosing up without any real stress at all. If it can put in some, like, similar enough performances like it did the last 2 times, it should be winning this race fairly comfortably, and I'd be expecting it at a price of 5-2. Finally then, 418, my patron pick of the day. I'm not going to be covering it. Moving on to the ITV race, and now this is going to be a little bit more in depth. 130, obviously, look at Shishkin should be winning this. If he doesn't win this at 2-9, you may as well forget about him winning the Arkle. It's a very, very poor affair. I think, honestly, realistically, like, this lad should be winning 12-15 lengths anyway, without a shadow of a doubt. At 2-9 though, I'm not going to be having a bet. It's as simple as that. Like, you'd want to be mad to even consider having a bet in him at that sort of a price. 205, Mary's Rock at 2-1. This one here is actually going to be my nap of the day. Now, go and forget the last performance. The last performance, it just didn't get the run of the race, and it wasn't really any way sort of, how would you say, it wasn't well suited at all, basically, to the way the race was run. But look at the 4 or 5 times before it, like, it put up a string of victories, like, so it was undefeated going into that particular day. You can imagine, like, horses can be given a bit of an off day, and things just don't go right in the day, and that's exactly what happened. Marie's Rock in his last outing. I think 2-1 is an absolute steal of a price. I think Nico has called it wrong. The fact that, well, maybe look at the fact that he mightn't be able to get down to the £2 less that Marie's Rock is carrying, compared to this favourite here for Nicky Henderson. Look at it, it's going to be a Nicky Henderson duel between the two of them. I personally think Marie's Rock is going to be better suited, and it should be winning at a price of 2-1 for, I think it's James Bone, if I'm not mistaken. Next race then, the 220 in Linkfield. I'm going to be going with Power Over Me. Currently priced in around 10 or 11 to 10. It's not really a great price, but it's a dual course and distance winner. It should be winning this. It won last time out. I think it was last weekend, fairly comfortably. Yeah, I think it was last weekend, or it was earlier on in the week anyway, whatever day it was. But it was a very impressive performance that day, and it should be well capable of doing the same here. I think it's on a similar enough mark. Maybe it's I think I read it's gone up something like £6, but yeah, it should be well suited, and it should be well capable of putting this race to bed without any too much stress anyway. 240 then is going to be my next best of the day, Pat's Fancy, currently priced in around 9-2. This one here, look at it, it's certainly well capable. It was a very, very good second last time out. I think it was over course and distance in Doncaster, when staying on to be a very gallant second. I think it was 33-1 that particular day. It's look at it. It's a trappy enough affair, and it's a tricky enough old race. But overall, if things can go its way, and it should be well able to get a good run into the race, I honestly think it won't be beaten. I think 9-2 is a great price for a nap of the day, or next best of the day, might I add. Next race then, the 255, back to Linkfield here now, and I'm going to be going with a course and distance winner, but not the favourite as people might suggest. I'm going to be going with Renadu or whatever way you want to pronounce it, currently priced in around 11-2. This one here just really takes the fancy of the fact that it's a course and distance winner, and it's one of the only course and distance winner in the race. The fact that, look at it, was a very, very gallant, I think it was second or third last time out, showed some bit of improvement. Maybe that it's coming back into form again. I just think that this favourite is there to be shot at, and I think it's going to come from one of the outsiders and one of the ones we're going to least expect. Usually around Linkfield you can expect that as well. A few, I suppose you could say, shock victories for a few cases, but I certainly think this, whatever way I want to pronounce it, Renado or whatever way it is, but 11-2 seems to be a nice each way price for a course and distance winner. 315 is going to be a very, very interesting shout here now. Give Me a Copper. I think it's for Skeltons. Currently priced in around 16-1. This one here is definitely well within a chance. It was this one here that was second in Doncaster last time out. I think it was in around 6-1 or something like that. The fact that it stayed on, it was very unlucky. It was just beaten by a snout. Realistically, if that horse can produce something along the lines like that, it's definitely in with a chance. I can't understand how bookies have it up at something like 16-1. The fact that it stayed on so strongly obviously shows that it can improve even more than what it's on, and it should be a bit of a steal at a price of 16-1. Look, I don't really know. The fact that there's probably a few better horses in here overall, but I just think the fact that the horse is in form, and I think the favourites are there to be shot at tomorrow, and I certainly think Give Me a Copper is going to be giving us a bit of gold now tomorrow, hopefully, with the help of God. Finally then, 330 at Thebe for Rossa Ryan, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Rossa Ryan is riding it. Currently priced in around 5-1. Yeah, no, it is Ross Ryan riding it tomorrow. Look at it. It was a very, very good interview we did with him last time out, or last week, there on the Irish Racing Hour, and he did speak highly of this particular yard and the fact that they're probably going to be doing bigger and better things for the year ahead. Now, I haven't heard anything about this particular horse in general, but the fact that Rossa has been riding plenty of winners, and the fact that this yard has been in the winners' enclosure over the past couple of weeks, I think it's they're within a chance at 5-1. Obviously, look at the favourites coming in here on a hat-trick seeking bid. It's hard to know really can it improve as much as it has done to defy the weight or the weight upgrade. But I just think a Teeb, if there's a horse to maybe down the flags of the favourite here, it's going to be a Teeb and it's going to be Ross Ryan. The man is in serious form, and he should certainly be thereabouts in the finish. But look, I'm going to leave it there. If you're going to be having a bet tomorrow, the very best of luck. I hope you're all on Sir Bob there today. We got a nice little touch there now at 16-1. So look, at hopefully with the help of God, we'll be able to keep this good run going. And please, if I've made you money over the past couple of days, please make sure to keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. It really helps me out at the end of the day, and hopefully we'll be able to reach the goal of 1,000 subscribers by, let's say, the end of March. Let's say the end of Cheltenham. Hopefully, with the help of God, fingers crossed, that'll be done. Thanks very much. Best of luck tomorrow, and please make sure to keep liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you.